The Young and the Restless, Clare Newman and her relationship with Victor. In the mysterious and powerful world of The Young and the Restless, Clare Newman has proven that she is not one to be trifled with. Recently, when faced with the interference of her grandfather Victor Newman in her personal life, Clare fought back strongly. However, the battles are not only between young people like Kyle Abbott and Clare but also between the generations of power in the Newman family. Clare's dark side, which once nearly destroyed the Newman family, may return strongly, as she faces challenges and control from Victor. Victor's intervention and consequences. Victor Newman, one of the most prominent characters on The Young and the Restless, is no stranger to manipulating and controlling the lives of those around him. His strained relationship with his family members always creates drama. However, in Clare Newman's case, his interference in her relationship with Kyle Abbott could be a time bomb. If he continues to do so, Clare will not hesitate to remind him of her violent past, when she almost killed not only the Newman family members but also nearly destroyed everything Victor had worked so hard to build. Clare is a complex character, not only a strong woman but also an ambitious one. While the rest of the Newman family often show submission or skillfully avoid Victor's control, Clare is not easily overwhelmed. She can even use dark secrets from her past to protect her own interests. Victor, who is always confident in his ability to control any situation, may be shocked to find that someone in his family is willing to stand up to him. This leaves fans wondering, is Victor truly out of control, or is he just trying to use new tactics in his fight for power within the Newman family? Clare and the exercise of personal power. With the help of Summer and Phyllis, both of whom are just watching from the sidelines, Clare could become a force to be reckoned with. Summer, with her experience as a member of the Newman family, knows all about the pain Victor has been through, but she also knows that Clare is not like the rest of the family. Clare is not afraid to face danger, and if Victor continues to encroach on her personal life, she will not hesitate to fight to protect what is hers. There will be tense scenes when Clare decides to stand up and remind Victor of his deadly past. She won't hesitate to allude to things Victor has seen but forgotten, from nearly losing her life in an attack to nearly destroying his family. All of these dark memories will return, and they could push Victor and Clare to the brink of confrontation. Clare and Kyle Abbott's relationship. Signs from the past. Clare and Kyle Abbott's relationship, while developing, is not without its challenges. If Clare continues to confront Victor, this relationship could become the next target in the generational war. Kyle, despite loving Clare, will have to deal with the internal problems of the Abbott family and external political connections. However, Victor's intervention could prove to be a challenge for both Clare and Kyle. If Clare really has her way, she may choose to side with Kyle, despite the pressure from her grandfather. She will never let Victor, who she feels threatened and controlled by, interfere with the important decisions in her personal life. Clare will prove that she is not a pawn in the power game that Victor is trying to establish in the family. Clare Newman and the personal revolution. While Victor may continue to be arrogant and think that everything is in his hands, Clare will prove that she is not someone who can be forced or controlled. If Victor does not change his approach, Clare may decide to carry out a personal revolution, a fight not only for her love but also for her personal freedom. Clare's dark side has caused chaos in the Newman family, and if Victor continues to interfere in her life, no one can guarantee the outcome. The tense confrontations, intrigues and revelations will continue to push this relationship into unpredictable situations. Clare Newman, with her strength and determination, might make Victor realize that in his family, not everyone will obey his orders. The story between Clare Newman and Victor Newman will continue to be one of the main plots in The Young and the Restless, bringing the audience moments of suspense and drama. The confrontation between two generations of power in the Newman family will likely create major turning points in the future of the show. And the big question remains, is Victor really losing control, or is this just a new tactic in his power game? Clare will certainly not give in easily, and this battle promises to be long and fierce. Clare Newman and the confrontation with Victor Newman, the stubbornness and dark side of a man who never knew how to back down. In The Young and the Restless, the lives of the characters are always full of challenges, conflicts and power struggles, but one of the most complex and dramatic relationships lies between Clare Newman and her grandfather, Victor Newman. This confrontation is not only a battle between two generations but also a battle of ambitions, stubbornness, and dark secrets that cannot be buried. Clare, a strong-willed and not easily overwhelmed woman, is at a major crossroads in her life. She is starting a new relationship with Kyle Abbott, Jack Abbott's son, and decides to move in with him. However, this decision is not approved by Victor, who has always controlled every aspect of the Newman family's life. And when Victor begins to interfere in Clare's personal life, she realizes that she may face a bitter war with her grandfather. Victor Newman's intervention. Victor Newman, the almighty of the Newman family, never stops controlling and manipulating those around him. He has built a powerful empire, and anyone in the family who tries to get out of his control will pay the price. Clare's relationship with Kyle Abbott is no exception. Victor cannot accept that Clare, his niece, has chosen to share her life with someone outside the family. However, Victor's intervention is more than just advice or disapproval. When he finds out that Clare has decided to move in with Kyle, it sparks his anger. With his domineering and controlling personality, Victor cannot stand the thought of a member of the Newman family doing something that he cannot control. When Clare decides to stand up to him and start a new life with Kyle, she does not hesitate to remind Victor of the Newman family's bloody and tearful past. The feud between Victor and Jack Abbott, which he has always been unable to forgive, can now become a card that Clare can use to threaten him. Clare knows that she can push things further, and she is not afraid to use threats to ensure that Victor will not dare to interfere in this relationship. Clare and Kyle's vow. Despite the many ups and downs in Clare's life, she and Kyle Abbott have decided to make a vow to be together, not just a promise but a deep commitment to a shared future. After a tense and emotional conversation, the two decide to live together, despite Victor Newman's objections. Their love story has overcome initial challenges and becomes a story of hope in a world full of calculations and power struggles. But this decision is not an easy one. Both know that they are entering a relentless battle with the Newman family, especially Victor. However, with her determination and strength, Clare has affirmed that she will never back down. She knows that she can control the situation and can put Victor in a difficult position, just like she did in the past. Clare's strength and relationship with Victor. Despite her soft exterior and sometimes emotional nature, Clare has a surprising amount of hidden power. She knows she can use the Newman family's dark past against Victor, who has repeatedly forgotten what she is capable of. Clare nearly killed Nikki Newman, her grandmother, Victoria Newman, her mother, along with Cole and Nick Newman in a fatal accident in Oregon less than 2 years ago. This is not only a terrifying secret, but also a weapon that Clare can use to threaten and control the Newman family. Victor may not remember, or pretend not to remember, but Clare still remembers every detail. And if he continues to interfere in her life, Clare will not hesitate to do anything to make sure that Victor cannot control her again. The battle between Clare and Victor promises to be one of the most dramatic confrontations on The Young and the Restless. Clare is not only a strong woman but also a sharp strategist. She knows her power and the threats she can pose. With a past filled with mistakes and sins, Clare will likely continue to use family secrets to fight for her freedom. Victor, even though he is the almighty of the family, will not be able to easily win this battle. When Clare decides that she will live her life on her own terms, despite Victor's objections, this will create a major turning point in the power struggle in the Newman family. Clare Newman, with her stubbornness and strength, will never easily submit to anyone, even her grandfather. The confrontation between her and Victor Newman will continue to be a dramatic and tense story on The Young and the Restless. No one knows for sure whether Clare will continue to use the Newman family's dark secrets to achieve her goals, but one thing is for sure, she will not give up fighting for the life and love she chooses. This battle will not only be a battle between Clare and Victor but also a battle for power within the Newman family, and who will be the winner, time will tell. The Young and the Restless, the Newman family has always been one of the most powerful pillars in the Genoa City community. And no one represents this power more than Victor Newman, who has built an empire of ambition but also of family tension. However, the battle between him and his niece Clare Newman is not only a power struggle but also a struggle of personal choices, emotions, and dark secrets. When Clare decides to move in with Kyle Abbott, a personal decision that is met with fierce opposition from Victor, the story becomes even more complicated and dramatic. Victor worried about Clare and Kyle's relationship. Victor Newman, despite being a strong man and experienced in controlling situations, cannot stand when people in his family, especially Clare, make decisions that he cannot control. His niece Clare's decision to live with Kyle Abbott, Jack Abbott's son, raises concerns in Victor. He believes that this relationship could lead to bad things for the Newman family, especially if Kyle convinces Clare to turn against him and the Newman family. Victor worries that Kyle, with his charm and freedom as an outsider, could lure Clare away from the values that the Newman family has worked so hard to build. However, no matter what Victor tries, Clare still has the right to make her own decisions in life, and this is something that Victor cannot accept. Victor's stubbornness makes him a character who does not easily accept change, especially when it comes from within his own family. Victoria and Cole don't intervene too strongly while Victor is adamantly against Clare's decision. The rest of the Newman family takes a different approach. Victoria, Victor's daughter, and Cole, Clare's father, both realize that Clare needs to make her own choices. Although they both love and care for Clare, they do not want to interfere too much in her relationship. Victoria and Cole understand that Clare is an adult and can decide her own path without the control of her family. Victoria, with her experience and wisdom, also realizes that trying to control too tightly will only make Clare feel pressured and lead to a backlash. Cole, although he is Clare's father, also does not want to be too involved in his daughter's love life. He understands that this relationship can be an opportunity for Clare to discover herself and better understand what she wants in life. Instead of siding with Victor, both Victoria and Cole choose to stay out of the game, letting Clare decide her own path. Clare, strong and the rebirth of the dark side. Clare Newman, a strong and ambitious character, is not easily subdued by anyone's opposition, even her grandfather, Victor. If Clare had previously shown obedience and agreed with her family's decisions, now she has enough strength and confidence to fight for her own rights and personal choices. Her decision to live with Kyle Abbott was not impulsive, but a personal decision, clearly showing Clare's desire for independence and freedom. However, when faced with strong opposition from Victor, Clare does not hesitate to give warnings. She clearly remembers her family's dark past, a past that she can easily use to threaten Victor. The tense relationship between Victor and Jack Abbott, Kyle's father, is another weakness that Clare can exploit. Clare knows about Victor and Jack's feud, as Jack saved her grandmother, Nikki Newman, in an unorthodox way. This is a weakness that Clare can exploit, taking the relationship to a more dangerous level. Clare's threats and calculations. Clare is not only strong, but also intelligent and calculating. She knows that in the Newman family, power comes not only from control but also from potential threats. And if Victor continues to interfere with her decisions, Clare may not hesitate to use strong threats. She can remind Victor of the past he has forgotten, when she almost killed Nikki, Victoria, Cole, and Nick in an accident in Oregon, less than 2 years ago. Clare doesn't have to do anything too cruel, just hint at what she is capable of, and that will make Victor think twice. If necessary, Clare could go further, threatening to harm Nikki Newman unless Victor went along with her plan regarding Kyle. This was a move that could push Clare and Victor's relationship past the point of no return. However, Clare knew that if she actually decided to act this way, things would never be the same, and she would pay the price for her decision. Kyle Abbott, though a good and loving man, is in a difficult situation. His relationship with Clare faces challenges not only from her family but also from the Abbott family. Clare's decision to move in with Kyle could cause turmoil not only in the Newman family but also in the Abbott family, where relationships and interests are complicated. However, Kyle and Clare both know that they love each other and are determined to stay together despite all the obstacles. They both believe that they can overcome these challenges and build a future together. However, when faced with opposition from both families, their relationship will have to go through more difficult challenges than ever. The confrontation between Clare and Victor Newman, along with the development of her relationship with Kyle Abbott, will certainly create dramatic and emotional situations on The Young and the Restless. Clare, with her strength and determination, will not let anyone, not even her family, interfere with her right to choose her life. This battle will not only be a battle between two generations of power in the Newman family, but also a battle of personal feelings, unburied secrets, and unforeseen threats. Will Clare succeed in protecting her love and freedom, or will Victor once again assert his power in the Newman family? Only time will tell.